With the date of its emergence lost in time, the Order of Daivendu, a peaceful monks dedicated to study of numerology, arose in the sliced portion of the mid-rim, in the Lambda sector. At one point in their existence, the monks traveled to the planet Ando Prime, attracted by a force nexus, becoming known as Talits. In the year 37,453 Battle of Yavin, the Daivendu traveled to the Andovi Mountains, where they discovered a giant construction they called Thoyer. The monks knew that this construction wasn't of their world and perceived great mysteries in it. As generations passed, the Talits offered all their energy for contemplation and meditation towards the Thoyer, using their mind and heart. It was 1,000 years later, in 36,453 before Battle of Yavin, in the Galactic Standard Calendar, or in the year 0 Thoyer arrival, that the Thoyer spoke to them. The call echoed in their minds and hearts, not commanding or asking for anything, but offering something, an invitation. The Daivendu entered without any doubt. That was the moment they had always waited for, to solve the mystery. They entered, and the answer to the enigma was revelation. In Kashyyyk, a group of Wookiees who were fighting over the mystical pyramid heard a call and found peace. In Dathomir, the shamans with their chants and prayers heard a call and found harmony. Inside caverns on the planet Ryloth, Twi'lek philosophers debated the mysterious origin of the energy they could sense, heard the call and found enlightenment. On Manaan, Selkath scientists stopped their studies, listened to the call and found wisdom. 8 Thoyer across different worlds gathered other sentients who heard the call. They navigated the twisted paths between black holes and stars, arriving at the final destination, Tython. The pyramids arrived, a 9th larger Thoyer gathering everyone there, plus great storms in the sky announced the arrival of their travelers. The planet was generating a great energy that the travelers already knew, the same energy with which they felt the call. From the 9th Thoyer, all the great diversity of individuals who had been invited, with their customs, their language, their ideology, their tradition, they became as one of the Force. From that moment, they became one people and will be called Titans. The new people understood that the Force embraces all. Even around their new planet, they saw 2 moons in the sky, Light Ashla and Dark Vogan. Understanding the duality of the Force. There is no light without darkness, and there is no darkness without light. The permanent balance of both sides was necessary, where the Titans learned the consequences of an unequal balance, witnessing Titan's reaction. The harmony of the whole is the result of a balance that holds all things in their place, and they could uphold that belief by understanding the Force and keeping it at the center of everything. They renamed themselves Jedi, a Daivendu term meaning mystic center. Over time, the Jedi began to build a society and whole new life on Titan. However, not everyone born on the planet had the ability to touch the Force, and the Jedi with the ability couldn't always protect them. So, a millennium later, Titans who weren't Jedi traveled to Ashla and Vogan, and then to different planets from Sunspot to Fury's Gate. If a child was born with an affinity to the Force and was outside of Titan, the child was returned to be instructed in different temples of the planet, gaining knowledge and seeking balance in the Force. The young apprentices from other planets outside of Titan became strangers in their own family. Because of the estrangement they lived, and many times a great resentment towards the Order was formed. The Jedi Code was the proof of their core ideology. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no fear. There is power. I am the heart of the Force. I am the revealing fire of light. I am the mystery of darkness, in balance with chaos and harmony, immortal in the Force. The figure of the Jedi over the years became mysterious and respected, but also feared and sometimes caused displeasure in the different inhabitants of the system. Many didn't like the idea of being subservient to the Jedi. One of them was the despot Queen of Chicago, who united the Chicago crime barons and subjected the colonized worlds to her service, where only her will would be supreme, beginning the War of Despots. The Jedi fought bravely, with the Force on their side. Many Jedi warriors fell in the battle. Each victory came at a high cost. The despot army was defeated at Caleth, with Queen Hadiyah slain. On Tatooine, a planet with twin suns, lived the Kumunga, in gleaming cities along its blue seas. The Kumunga are an advanced society that developed spaceflight and began colonizing other worlds, but these advances caught the attention of the Infinite Empire, where they came from their ships to claim the planet. Peredor Tulkar and his Force hound, Zesh, led an army to take control of the Kumunga, not afraid to shed blood to achieve their goal. After devastating the planet, Peredor Tulkar praises Zesh for his excellent work. A Force hound is a servant with a master who seeks out new planets with Force-strong population throughout the galaxy, so that the Rakata can conquer them. Oremun congratulates Peredor Tulkar on his servant's skills and excellent work, and warns him of rumors of Peredor Skalnas aiming to take control of Zesh to be his personal Force hound. After hearing that, Peredor Tulkar takes him with the Force and tells him that he knows that he is an spy of Peredor Skalnas, and can sense the lust of Oremun and Skalnas have for their commander. Another Rakata comments to him that Peredor Skalnas has given him the order to go to Beast to meet him. Tulkar knows that he must beware of Skalnas, but he has to obey the order because he is his Peredor and owns his service. On the planet Vis is the power center of the Infinite Empire, where Peredor Tulkar meets with the Peredor Skalnas and his personal Force hound, Trill. Tulkar asks for answers for calling him in the middle of a conquest. Skalnas clarifies that one he needs is Zesh, and since a Force hound only takes orders from its owner, he needed him to accompany him. The reason for that call is because Trill has sensed a Force-rich world in the deep core, but cannot know exactly where it is. So they need Zesh's ability. Zesh responds in a haughty manner and disrespecting Trill for his poor ability to accurately detect planets, and Trill, furious in disparagement, attacks Zesh. Peredor Skalnas stops the fight and asks Zesh again if he will help find the world. Peredor Tulkar clarifies that if his Force hound finds the world, he will be the one to claim the rights to the planet. Skalnas agrees, and Zesh confirms that he can find the world. The Tython system is located in the deep core, and thanks to its location in this area of the galaxy, makes navigation in it impossible, because of the large numbers of stars that are very close to each other and have an enormous density spread throughout the space. All this makes the Tython system practically isolated. In Fury's Gate, the farthest planet from the Tython star, is the Fury Station, which is the launching point for Titan sleeper ships. Because of the lack of technology to travel around the galaxy, it has been chosen to use these ships so that, from the Fury Station, the ships make the long trip to the deep core, and so their passengers can survive the trip that will take years to finish. Also, the Fury Station monitors the void of space in case a ship enters the system, but that has never happened. Until now. The crew informs the captain that they detect a signal on the sensors. Everyone believes it may be one of the many sleeper ships finally finding their way home. But after trying to contact the ship, There is no response, and in an instant, the systems stop receiving the signal. Hawk Ryo, a Jedi who arrived from the moon's Eris, is on the station, and he says he will inform Titan of what just happened. The Ranger informs the Council that the station had just detected an object beyond the system that disappeared from the radars but not from the Force, and he can sense something dark heading towards Titan. In Titan, Danike's temple extends over the chasm, and the Jedi know there is something mysterious in that, so it's no coincidence that the Temple of the Science is in that location. Also, in Anil Kesh, the Jedi can practice alchemy, enhance armors and weapons, and generally manipulate creatures to serve the Force, like Shei Kora and his master Quan Zhang, who are trying to control the Rancor Dragon, but both of them can sense that something is wrong. Butch, which is the name of the Rancor Dragon, for some reason is behaving strangely and goes straight to the bottom of the chasm. Shei Kora jumps to rescue his companion, and his master Quan Zhang reminds her not to do that because she might die. But Master Jedi sees that his apprentice doesn't listen and jumps from her. During the moment when Shei Kora falls to the bottom of the chasm, she sees a vision of a person. She is surprised and doesn't know who it is. Master Quan Zhang rescues Shei in time and takes control of Butch. She tells him that she saw a vision, and her master tells her that a Jedi should ignore such summons and should follow her instincts. Chicago is a planet where it's ruled by feudal gangsters such as the Ryo clan of Baron Volnus Ryo. Yaris Khan shows up at the fortress of Volnus and murders the guards. At the fortress, Baron Volnus and his daughter Tasha are arguing about the clan. Tasha is a Jedi like her mother, but her father Volnus asks her to return to take responsibility for the clan's duties. She doesn't want to, because her duty is to the Jedi. At that moment, Yaris Khan tries to assassinate the Baron, and Tasha rescues her father. She fights the assassin, and when she has him almost defeated, the same vision that Shei Kora saw appears to Tasha. Because of his carelessness, Yaris grabs Tasha by the neck, but the Jedi push him away with the Force. Baron Volnus grabs Yaris off the ground and finds it pathetic that he tries to assassinate him. Now, the Twi'lek ends up killing the Devaronian. Tasha tells her father that killing the Devaronian was out of the line, and Volnus tells his daughter that he had to do it because he couldn't show any weakness with the other family members who rule in Chicago crime. The assassin was sent by Baron Gardo. The Twi'lek tells his daughter that a Jedi in the forces of the Ryo clan will give her enormous status, but Tasha refuses to return to her father's side. In the temple of Chigun Kesh in the Silent Desert, Seknos Wrath is a pure-blooded Sith practicing a new technique in the Force, when just like Tasha and Shei, the same vision appears to him, throwing Seknos out of focus and injuring himself with the ball of the Force. After hearing all the commotion, Seknos' grandmother goes to check on him and reprimands him for using a Force lighting, tell him that it's a practice of the dark side. When a Jedi used the dark side too much and lost balance in the Force, the Council sent him to meditate on the moon of Titan, Vogan, as happened to Dalen Locke. And in that place, the ambition that the three Jedi had in Titan was also seen by Dagan. Shei, Tasha and Seknos meet in the forest in Titan. The three of them talk about the cause why they are there and understand that it's for the same reason, the vision they have. Besides, the force storm that is hitting the sky of Titan is too strange for everyone. Shei looks at the sky and sees a ship falling towards where the three Jedi are. They all go to the place where the object in the sky crashed, and they all agree in perceiving the same thing: darkness, anger, and death. In Akarkesh, the Temple of Balance, Ranger Rody Fenn and Master Ketu talk about the sensation of perceiving a desperate scream and the death of Force sensitives, just like them but strangers, a familiar voice but of extraterrestrial beings. Master Ketu communicates to her about Hawk's radio report related to the ship that detected the Fury Station, and the two fear that it's some invasion, since for 10 millennia they have been alone in the Titan system and they don't know everything that is out there. The three Jedi draw their swords with the force-imbued blade and order the stranger to surrender without a fight. The stranger takes a weapon that they had never seen before and jumps to attack them. "You are the enemy. I will fight and die as a warrior. You will not kill my brothers," he said. The three Jedi defend themselves from the attack, but are surprised to find that their swords are useless against his alien weapon. They can't believe that the metal steel breaks so easily. The stranger throws Tasha and knocks her out of fight. The enemy's attacks with his energy sword are endless, and Seknos uses his new technique he has been practicing. But it has no effect because the man stops the attack and redirects it to Butch. The enemy's fighting techniques are impressive. The three Jedi are no match for him, and apparently they realize that he can use the Force because he throws Shay away from the place. Seknos asks him who he was, and he answers that his name is Zesh, a Force Hound of the Rakata's infinite empire, and looks at Seknos, telling him that he is his next prey. As Zesh is about to finish the Sith with the energy sword, Seknos takes it from him. He tries to use it but can't turn it on. Seknos sees Shay coming back and throws the weapon at her. Zesh grabs Seknos and demands his weapon back. Just as Zesh is about to kill Seknos, Shay jumps on him and ignites the energy sword. Zesh is surprised to see that Shay was able to use the weapon. Analyzing the situation, the Force Hound uses the Force to knock down the ground where they were fighting and escapes. Shay says they had to go to after him. Hours later, Hawk Rayo flies over the crash site and informs the council that he has found the location. He meets with Master Quan Zhang and Ranger Rodolfo. Searching for evidence, Master Quan Zhang finds the technology of the escape pod, surprised to see that it's in the same language as their Arabic. He reads what it says on the outside and can read Predator Toolkit. They find the place where Shay, Tasha and Seknos fought against Zesh, and find it strange that their swords are on the ground and broken. The three hear a sound and its touch comes out of the vegetation frightened. Master Quan Zhang recognizes her and calms her down. He finds it strange that Shay has left the beast alone and continues to investigate. They'll perceive the darkness in Tython. Besides, the storm that is in the skies is a sign of the great evil in the system. Tasha, Shay and Seknos follow Zesh's trail and arrive at the Abyss of Ru. With annoyance, Shay remembers that this place is too dangerous because a month ago he had gone with his master Quan Zhang for specimens and they almost died. Blurred memories flash through Zesh's mind. His wounds hurt and he can remember anything. He wonders what happened because the last thing he remembers is when the ship exploded, but he doesn't know why. Weakened, he collapses and loses consciousness. In Vogan, Dagonlok witnesses the huge storm that is happening in Tython. He knows that the clouds and lightning come from dark energy and unnatural power. At Akarkesh, the Temple Masters discuss about the storm. The only time they have known of anything like what they are experiencing was the storm of 10,000 years ago, when the Thoyer brought the first settlers to Tython. All are aware that the same force that guided them seems to be unbalanced. The storm prevented the Jedi outside the temples from being able to communicate, so Master Quan Zhang sent a message in a droid. He informs the Masters that there is not much of the alien wreckage left, and hypnotizes that the wreckage permeates the dark side and most likely the current imbalance is caused by the new guest. In addition, Master Quan Zhang reports that Hograyo and Rodolfo are following a trail left by three Jedis to the Abyss of Ru. In the Abyss of Ru, Tasha feels bad. She is hallucinating. On the other hand, Seknos is impressed by the behavior of Tython's energy. He feels it too alive, as if it were physically there. Shay, confused, sees her dead parents in the darkness. She was orphaned long ago and holds a resentment towards her parents for leaving her alone. In a fit of rage, she tries to attack the vision of her parents, and Seknos stops her. He tries to make Shay see that her parents were heroes of the war, but she doesn't listen and only feels a feeling of rage running through her body. In the back of the place, Tasha screams to her friends. She tells them that she can't see anything. She only sees darkness. Shay looks at Tasha, and now she is the reason for Shay's fury. Queen Harija, the cause of the despot war, and why Shay's parents are dead, was helped by Chicago's people, Tasha's people, and Shay jumps to attack the Twilight. With a twinge of remorse in Tasha, she apologizes for what her people did 12 years ago. They all come down and realize that the storm is pulling them out of balance into the energy of the dark side. The three help each other and they recite the Jedi code, keeping each other in balance. The Rakata ship, the Devourer, falls to the planet Tython, exploding in midair. Predator Tulkar wants to kill off the slaves who, according to him, destroyed his ship. But one of the guards tells him that they didn't do it, and neither did any enemy. Predator finds other of his guards dead, and without him expecting, he is killed. Predator Tulkar and his warriors died without knowing what happened. Memories of screams rip Zesh from unconsciousness. He has killed his Predator, his master, before he was on Tulkar's ship, and now he is in a nightmare. To survive, he must escape not only from whatever creatures lie on this planet, but what lies within his own exhausted mind. This deep abyss is imbued with the energy of the dark side. Shadows manifest. Those who perished on the Devourer have come for him, from beyond death, to take him down. Beast attacks Zesh from all sides, but the Force Hound is ready for any situation like that. It's not the first time he's been in an arena fighting for his life. In Vis, another more dangerous beast and one of the best Force Hound of Predator Skalnas fights against Zesh, only for Ragadan Master's pleasure. Predator Tulkar and Skalnas bet on their respective Force Hounds, and although Tulkar doubles the bet, he has no faith in Zesh. In the meantime, Zesh now has to bet on him. He has faith in himself. Conquer or die. There is no rule. You have to take what you need to stay alive. Zesh, tired of fighting the beast, escapes from the place and encounters an even more challenging monster. Just as he's about to be devoured, Tasha, Seknos and Shay arrive to the rescue. The three Jedi use all their power against the Sarl. Behind them, Zesh, in total madness, thinks they are stealing his victory. Seknos tells Shay to use the gun and she can turn it on. The Force Hound stops off the cliff above, savoring the darkness of the Jedi fear. Raw anger pushes his joy away and he cannot leave. Not yet. Zesh yells at Shay to give him back his gun. Analyzing the position they are in, Shay hands the gun back. He ignites his energy sword and leaves. Shay yells at him that he's a traitor, and Zesh replies, "One world, one fight, one rule. Survive." In the rift, Master Kwang Yang, Rody Fen, and Hawk Raya meet to enter the abyss of Ru. In the battle against the Tsar, Zesh stands watching from afar how the three Jedi's arena fight will end. What will be the strategy they will follow to survive? He thinks that they should use the weakest as bait, and the one who can escape should do it. He looks at Shay and can perceive the fear she has, but in an instant he sees that Shay doesn't escape and protects friends. In all of Zesh's travels, he had never seen that, such a strong brotherhood. And also, something inside him awakens. Zesh grabs his weapon and jumps to kill the sword. Zesh and Shay act together, no words passing, as one in the Force. Kwang Yang, Rody Fen and Hawk Ryo arrive where the battle is taking place and realize that the heaviest area of the storm is located above Zesh. The three of them jump to their rescue. Fen warns Shay that the monster is about to devour, and Zesh, from above, jumps to kill the Tsar with a stab with his energy sword. In the instant he does that, everyone can see that from the monster, energy shoots upward to the storm. Shay tells Hawk and Fenn that he's Zesh and is the only survivor of the ship crash. Fenn says that he must also be the nexus to the storm that exists on Titan, and to calm her, they must calm Zesh as well. Ven yells at Zesh to surrender, and the Force Hound feels the energy coursing through his body and recognizes them as enemies. Within the storm, Guang Zhang senses darkness. He feels the anger and fear of the Force-sensitive sentience of the ship that was destroyed. The storm feeds off Zesh and he off it, a terrible synergy. Guang Zhang don't relent to the storm. When the balance is skewed and when the darkness overwhelms the light, there is nothing left but to banish the darkness to allow the light back in. Zesh, because of the great blow of power he suffered, drops the energy sword, and Shay takes it. The Jedi takes Zesh to Marrakesh, Temple of Healing. When he wakes up, he asks the Selkat who was taking care of him if they will kill him now. The healer says no, and tells him they are there to heal him. Days later at Marrakesh, everyone gathers and Master Guang Zhang asks Shay how he'll lead the weapon. She says she doesn't know. She only remembers that at one point she thought her Master Guang Zhang had been killed by the storm, and so she took the weapon and launched for Zesh. Tasha enters the room where Zesh is being held. She asks him for permission to enter his mind, and with Zesh's characteristic attitude, he says he is a prisoner and has no say. Tasha tells him that he is not a prisoner, and the Jedi are not like that. Tasha enters his mind, and a dark world with ships like the one that crashed in Titan, all imbued with darkness in an army, slaughtered and enslaved inhabitants. Zesh as a child, nothing in him, no empathy, no love, no compassion, no light, only darkness, only shadow. Tasha, saddened by what she saw, asks Zesh what is done with him. Because of the danger that Zesh is, the Masters have decided to send him to Vogan so that he can meditate on the light side. The way Zesh understands the Force is different from the Jedi, and they expect him to find a balance in Vogan, but also, they can expect something from Zesh.